The next can we're going to talk about is from JK Armament, and it's their PCX can. For me, this is probably one of the most versatile cans that you can have, and I'm going to kind of break down why. So I think one of the most versatile cans that JK Armament does that's out on the market is the PCX can. So this is what the PCX can looks like. This one just happens to have a booster. And the reason why I say it's a really versatile can is because if you had a lot of different styles of guns, let's just say from PCCs to a handgun to even a lever gun, your ability to change out the back end and either go direct thread, 3-lug, muzzle brake, or in this case, a booster, you're totally able to do that. The other thing that you'll notice is that unlike a lot of cans that are out on the market, there are a few companies that do 1.5 inches, but I think there's a huge benefit to 1.5 inch can. One is controlling that back pressure. The other thing is if you, like JK Armament, have a modular ability, them being producing modular cans, then because of that 1.5 inch diameter, you might find that you can get away with 4 baffles, vice 5, or you're stuck with a certain length. And some of the 9mm cans out on the market are nice. They're just really long. So if, trying to find a smaller package, the end user really can't control that. So again, one of the things that I like is decreasing the back pressure by going 1.5 inches, and then being able for the end user to control how many baffles you want. So you could run, I believe when they send these cans out, you have 8. I generally run 4, no more than 5, depending upon what style of gun that it's going on. And one of the other things that I really like about this particular can and setup is I find that when you go to zero, these cans, one, between suppressed and unsuppressed, the only difference I find is you're either high or you're low. It depends on what your zero's on when you did it. Like as an example, if I zero on the can and then I take the can off and I fired a gun, I'll still be slightly high, but it's on the vertical plane. And I think that's a huge benefit for the end user. Or if you zeroed unsuppressed, you would, when you put the can on, you would be a little bit low, because there's predictability within that. It makes sense. What we don't want are cans that all of a sudden throw the round way low and left. There's no predictability, which means you're stuck in one of those modes. You better zero either unsuppressed or suppressed, because you're going to end up having 2 different zeros. So that's one of the benefits that I really like that JK Armament has done. So kind of to summarize it up before I get into some of the gun selection, being able to change the back end out and run either this on a pistol, run direct threads, run a 3-lug. JK Armament also makes a muzzle brake device as well. So you have a lot of flexibility within the marketplace, and the modularity I think is extremely important. I generally prefer a lot of the 3-lug. I like the way they lock up. This one just happens to be on a Dakota Tactical MP5 style. This one's 4 baffles, quick on, quick off for the end user. If you needed to, the way they thread these, you could go direct thread as well. I run one on a 10mm right here. So this is a CMG 10mm. It's bored for a 45. Man, this thing really sounds great running 10 mil. I purposely zero all my guns suppressed. I don't really want a suppressed and unsuppressed change. But what I know based on like what I was explaining to you guys a minute ago was if I do take the can off, I know I'm printing just slightly high, and it's really not much. When you look at the compactability with something like the BNT right here, again, it's another 3-lug, but if you wanted to, you could direct thread it. So again, you have a little bit of flexibility, and like I was saying earlier, being able to stack 4 or 5. Are you running subsonic? Are you running supersonic? If you're running subs, 4 is probably fine. If you're running super, you might want to add that 5th. Where it really shines, and what's really cool is when you start playing around with lever guns. So this is a 9mm can. and it's on a 357 Magnum. This just happens to be a Henry done by Ranger Point Precision. And when I run 38 Special out of this, it is amazingly quiet. So having a 9mm can, as you can see, you can run the gamut between handgun, pistol caliber carbines. You can run it on and a whole assortment, especially the 9mm side of the house. It just allows you that flexibility, and really all you're doing is breaking off the back cap right here and putting on whatever other type of accessory you need to transfer that over. And like I said, the ability for you guys running, if you're running something that's going to be a lot faster like supersonic, to be able to kind of choose those baffles, I think is a really huge deal. So check that can out. I think it's a good versatile can, especially if you don't have a lot of money and you got to buy one can that can kind of transfer to some different platforms when you choose to.